Hello. This is the introductory video for Intro to Film Studies as we start the next 5 weeks, finishing up the semester online. Last time we saw each other was before spring break, and we kind of knew that this was going to happen. So hopefully with all of your classes, you feel a sense of knowing what's going on, how things are going to move forward, and hopefully you're not feeling overwhelmed or confused. I know that all of us are in a similar boat in terms of this certainly isn't what we signed up for when we started teaching or learning at the beginning of the semester. Your lives might have changed a lot in terms of your jobs and what's happening at home. So please know that we, your instructors, are here for you. I think I speak for most of us that we desperately want you to get a bit more out of our classes and feel like you have gained things and accomplished something when you go over the finish line in May. But we also understand that this is pretty surreal. Nothing is normal right now, and everyone has kind of very different situations that they're in. So I can't stress enough how important it is to communicate with your instructors. Send us emails. You have my cell phone number. Let us know if anything is unclear or if you have any questions. I just can't stress that enough. I will talk a little bit more about technology for this class throughout this video. And I know we talked about this a bit last time I saw you, and I knew our library would do magic things because they always do. But the librarian, Lisa Farrell, has helped us out a great deal by making sure that all of our required films for this class are available for streaming, plus some more extras that I requested. So we'll talk about that as well. That being said, for this class, for film studies, you are going to need to have pretty good internet connection for at least a couple of hours per week so you can screen the films. If that's an issue, please let me know, okay? Please reach out and let me know. The difference will be that we won't all be watching the film at the same time every week. You will have basically the entire week to watch the film, respond to it online, and then we will have some class discussion time as well. So let me be a little bit more orderly in introducing kind of what's coming next. So first of all, some old business. Over the last few weeks, hopefully you have written and turned in a reflection for North by Northwest and the Hays Code. If you haven't yet, please by the end of this week, email me those reflections. I'll also ask that by the end of this week, you email me your 400 blows reflection. After this week, starting next week, you will turn things in via Moodle. I'll make assignment links and you will upload things on Moodle. I will have a Moodle gradebook set up, all of your grades from the beginning of the semester until now. I will put those in the gradebook as well. But this week, as we kind of transition, please just email me any late work that you might have. If you're not sure, let me know if you're missing anything, but from the beginning of the semester until now, please just turn in anything that might have fallen through the cracks. By this Friday, please catch up and turn things in via email. Hopefully by today, you have watched the 400 blows. This was one that wasn't available via streaming, so I asked you to sign up for a 14-day free trial on the Criterion channel. So hopefully you had no issues with that and you were able to watch the 400 blows. And hopefully, if you're anything like me, you've used the last couple of weeks to watch a whole lot of movies as you've been at home. But the Criterion channel is just a really, really excellent source for films in general, but hopefully you at least got logged in to watch 400 blows. And after that, please don't pay for anything. I'm not expecting you to subscribe to it. Just get the free trial, watch the 400 blows, take notes, and then you can make sure you don't get charged for a monthly fee. I did notice, and my apologies, this was my error, I didn't have the 400 blows resources viewable on Moodle until a few days ago. So if you have watched the film already, please go back and look at some of those resources, some of the analysis and the writing about the film, which is one of the kind of hallmarks of French New Wave. And I've included a few other links to other directors and other films that you might be interested in exploring as well. Certainly Agnes Varda, Godard, Hiroshima Mon Amour, I linked to that. That's Alain Resnais. That's one of my favorite films. So with everything I show you, and you know this, you've been in class with me where I go down the rabbit hole of film history, you may watch one film for this class, but my hope is certainly that it kind of cracks open an interest, that you look for more history, look for more films, because there's certainly a wealth that you can delve into. So over the course of the last couple of weeks, hopefully you have delved into a bit the French New Wave via the 400 blows and read some about it. It's certainly an example of a coming of age film. One of the most kind of iconic scenes in cinema is the final scene in the 400 blows. A very kind of interesting way to end the film in terms of, we don't know what happens after that freeze frame. And the fact that he kind of makes eye contact with us is a sort of implication of the audience and society in creating a society in which a young boy can be so lost and neglected. So being able to kind of unpack that and think about that final shot is really important. And I like showing the 400 blows. I mean, I love the film, but it's also an example of a coming of age film. And we don't really have any of those other that we look at necessarily. Never mind, The Last Picture Show is kind of a coming of age film as well. But just the protagonist being a young boy, I think is just an interesting way of looking at the world. And it exemplifies so much of what makes the French New Wave, and then we'll talk about how that feeds into kind of New Hollywood and independent film and art films as we know them now. So again, kind of old business. By Friday, April 10th, please be sure you've emailed me all of your reflections up until now. Also by Friday, I plan on having your midterm papers graded and everything kind of uploaded and set up in Moodle. So as we start next week, the final month of the class, all of your grades will be in Moodle. You'll upload your assignments in Moodle, and hopefully everything will be very clear and transparent. And hopefully you've seen too, kind of over the course of this week, the reliance upon email. I will be emailing your class kind of announcements, outlines, what is coming up in the week ahead. I will do these short YouTube videos to kind of introduce the week. For the next few weeks, I will do kind of a mini lecture about the films that we're watching as well. And then Moodle will be kind of the home base as well for our class. So I will put a lot of resources up on Moodle, and we'll have discussion forums. So what you'll see now in terms of the discussion forums, it's a general Q&A forum. So you can always email me with any questions you might have. But whenever I'm teaching online, I find it's nice to have kind of like a public repository of any general questions that students might have, so you can all see one another's questions and any answers that I might provide. So I just like to have that there. And then I have a film chat forum. Both of those will move week by week with us. So the film chat forum is just for any conversations you might want to have about things you're watching, extra films that you might watch that I've recommended and given you access to. In the next few weeks, we will have specific forums for our last few feature films. But the film chat forum is just so we have a place to chat. And then we will also have Zoom video conference calls at 6:30 on Monday evenings, our normal class time. This isn't required because I know I can't guarantee that you all have access to fast internet at that specific time, but I thought it was safest to schedule it during our normal class time. I'm hoping that a lot of you can call in and we can chat and discuss the films and kind of retain some sense of that class discussion. So be watching for those links as well. I will also have Zoom office hours on Thursday from 11 to 12, and I will post other office hours where I'll be available to chat, give me a call, kind of however you want to contact me is fine. You'll also find up on Moodle a calendar at the top of the page. So I went through and just kind of went week by week of what's happening in the next 5 weeks or so. May 13th will be our final day of class. It's a Wednesday, so basically your things will be due that Wednesday. But you can kind of see by looking at that calendar, I have in bold on Mondays the required film screenings for this semester. So The Last Picture Show, Do the Right Thing, Jackie Brown, and Me and You and Everyone We Know. Those are the films that are required curriculum in Intro to Film Studies. They are all accessible via Swank, which at the top of our page, you'll find a few links. One to Swank, one to Films on Demand, and one to Feature Films for Education. The feature films one, and I have this all listed, that expires on April 20th. So I've given you that link. I've suggested a couple of really great films that are in that repository, but all of our required films will be at that Swank link. And how Lisa Farrell was able to get all those streaming titles, we can have up to 25 titles. So I went through and picked some other just like really great films that I would recommend in a film class. So from Easy Rider to Mean Streets to The Punk Singer, all of those are accessible, and I've put those on the calendar as just kind of recommended viewing, but not required. And I've also included the login information, again, at the top of the Moodle page for those links for videos. So look at the calendar, kind of look that over. When I have the film on a Monday, that doesn't mean that we will all have to watch the film at the same time. I'm just kind of keeping that format since we are a Monday night class, but you'll have any time that week before the class discussion to watch the film. So I've talked about forums. So again, the 2 general forums are already posted, but then we'll have specific forums for the final few feature films that we watch. And Zoom will be our optional kind of meeting spot for class discussions. And I can't stress enough, if you have any issues or needs in terms of technology to be able to screen things, please let me know. It is, of course, I mean, you know that I was cranky at the beginning of the semester that we could only watch our films on a smart board because ideally we'd be in a lecture hall with a very large screen. Obviously, what is ideal has kind of gone out the window in the last few weeks. So if you can watch something on a TV screen or a laptop or a computer monitor, that would be the ideal in this situation. I know that it pains me to think that you might have to watch a film on your phone, but again, these are kind of extreme times, so we have to take extreme measures and know that not everything can be ideal. So let me know if you have any connectivity issues, any issues with streaming, and we will do our best to make it work out. So you can feel like you've gotten as much of the experience as you can of this film studies course. So here we go. You'll notice this week a ton of links. I have kind of in a similar format that I normally did in terms of read, watch, and write. So go over the homework. The PowerPoint is about animation, documentary films, and experimental films. So kind of the great mass of other kinds of films that, you know, you could take a whole class on any one of those genres, but I want to make sure that you're exposed to the basics at least. So go over the PowerPoint, and then I've included a number of links for each genre. Some are examples of that film form, and some are documentaries talking about that film form. So click through. There are a couple of full-length documentaries and experimental films, or ones that are around 30 minutes to an hour. It's not required that you watch all of those, but I do encourage you to kind of click around, be familiar with some of the names and topics that are presented to you. Documentary film and experimental film are two of my absolute kind of favorites genres, so it would be very easy for me to go, like, I had to stop myself. I'm like, okay, we've got enough links this week. Rest assured that the next few weeks do not look like that in terms of the number of links and the number of videos. The next few weeks, we really hone in on very specifically film criticism, and the next few films that we watch are kind of iconic American films. So we'll kind of really hone in on very specific films and film movements. And I won't give you 1 million links like you have this week. So delve in. Please let me know if you have any questions. I will send you out a link to the Zoom office hours on Thursdays from 11 to 12. And I'll also send your class a link to the Zoom meeting starting next Monday at 6:30. Please don't hesitate to call me, email me, let me know if you need anything. Okay? Delve in, read, watch, write, be keeping up with your blog, and I will look forward to staying connected with you and continuing to kind of learn and explore with you for the next 6 weeks, even under the less than ideal circumstances. I hope that you're staying safe and healthy. And again, please reach out if you need anything.